Welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, where we bring you conversations with the top business minds on Long Island and around the nation every week. Featuring expert consultants and small business owners who have found success but are also willing to share their top tips, failures, and give gritty, matter-of-fact advice based on their firsthand experience. Now, let's get down to business on Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Hello and welcome to Tower Talk Business Radio, powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation. My name is Ray Schwetz, AVP of Business Banking at Giovia Financial Credit Union, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, our CEO, keeper of the brand, marketing and digital agency.
We're focused on being the premier resource for business and entrepreneurship. We bring you weekly business advice, tips, tools, and services that help you grow your business. Plus, we interview some of the top business leaders in the industry.
Yep, and helping provide us with business empowerment today is Aron Kurlander, Director, Business Services, and Vivi Acosta, Deputy Director of Business Services and Special Events of the Greater Jamaica Development Corporation. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about the Greater Jamaica Development Corporation and what you folks do?
So Greater Jamaica is a 55-plus-year-old organization based in Jamaica, Queens. And our overall mission is to make Jamaica and the region a better place. We do this in a couple of ways. We have quality of life initiatives. We have on-the-ground initiatives that, we try to, make the streetscape better. We make suggestions to the city to, make this a one-way street or a two-way street or help pedestrian flow. And then we have a division called Business Services, which is where Vivi and I work. And that division handles entrepreneurship, recognizing that in order to have a thriving place like Jamaica and Southeast Queens as a whole, small businesses need the opportunity to thrive. And business banking, while it's really great and overall, it services most of the business sector, Southeast Queens is lacking a little bit in the business banking area. And that's we hope to fill that gap. Where business banking stops and where they can't help entrepreneurs, Vivi and I, we step in.
And now the entire Jamaica, Queens, and Southeast Queens area was really booming, especially before the pandemic, and you see a lot of the redevelopment. Can you tell us a little bit about what types of business services and small businesses you assist?
Sure, I'll speak a little bit, then I'll let Vivi jump in as well. So we run a revolving loan fund, a federally certified CDFI, that offers loans. So when you can't get a loan from a traditional bank, you'll come to us. Over 90% of our borrowers are minority or women-owned businesses, and we work really exclusively in the area you're talking about, in the Southeast Queens area. And to that end, we have various products and services. We don't offer traditional banking, so it's not a kind of place where you come to open a checking account or you things like that. But it's when you want to grow your business, when you say, "Oh, I need a new piece of equipment because I'll be more efficient," or I want to bring out a new product line, or hey, the holiday season's coming, I need to stock up on XYZ, but I don't have enough capital, but I know that I need that inventory to make this, a productive holiday season. So that's where we fit in. We're really about job creation. We're, the goal for us, we make loans anywhere up to $300,000. So really for the small business, really mom and pop shops, home-based businesses as well. We don't only do retail. And then we offer a full suite of technical assistance. So we're there for businesses, everything from startup, questions to regulation. And I'll let Vivi talk a little bit about the services we offer the industrial sector. But we try to offer a full suite of services and classes and tutorials on how to help businesses open, stay, and grow in Southeast Queens. So I'll hand it over to Vivi.
Awesome. Thank you, Aron. So I do want to preface, Aron mentioned it already, but the Business Services Group at Greater Jamaica, we are trying to help small businesses navigate the challenges of their entrepreneurship and foster growth and success. And when it comes to technical assistance, I think it's also an area where we shine. Aron already mentioned that access to capital is a challenge, but also there's the nitty-gritty of how can I access, you mentioned already, different development that is happening and the boom that's happening in downtown Jamaica and the neighboring area. So everything from navigating government and cutting red tape, we can be there, we can assist with. If it's an operational issue or you're having licensing issues, we can connect you to city services and city representatives that are experts in the field. And everything from training grants as you're growing and developing your business, incentives if you're looking to invest in new property or outfit your existing property, expand. That's another service that we provide. Real estate assistance, again, if you're looking for a location, you're home based and you're growing out of that location, or let's say you're expanding your services, we can help with finding adequate space for industrial businesses in the area. And also legal assistance. We have access to pro bono legal assistance that anyone that's looking to, let's say you're signing a lease and you need some guidance on what should I do or how should I approach this line that my realtor or the leasing agency has included in my lease. And we can connect you to services that can help you when you're navigating these challenges. Again, a lot of our small businesses, they're really good at their craft, but the business operation part of it, that's where they're a little challenged. So we're bringing experts to the field so that they can give them a supporting hand in getting to that next level.
Well, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, Aron.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was just going to add. Also, one of the areas we're focusing on now is really around JFK redevelopment. There's many billions of dollars going into redevelopment of JFK, and really very much focused on helping the Port Authority meet their goal of 30% participation by minority and women-owned businesses. And so, to that end, we've been working closely with the Port Authority and a lot of their subs and a lot of their contractors to get the word out. And we've hosted a series of events. I think that to date, we've probably had over 500 small businesses come through the door. That's our door. I'm not even talking about the Port Authority. I'm sure they've had a lot more. But, just trying to get that word out, help them understand what opportunities are out there for them. And, make sure that the communities that we know the Port Authority are looking to serve, or the communities that we serve, are well informed and are positioned to get part of that work.
We obviously legal, tech, financial. You've given us some great specifics on what you help small businesses with. For small businesses, it's got to be very confusing though, because there's so many organizations out there. There's CDC, there's SBA, there's SCORE, there's SBDC. So how do you folks kind of differentiate yourselves from those other organizations, and do you work with them?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we work with all of those organizations. Before the pandemic, we actually hosted SCORE on a weekly basis in our office, because they offer something we don't offer, right? So we try to work where we augment each other, right? Where we provide complementary services. So if you want a full business plan, we're going to send you to an SBDC probably, because they're going to be better to service you in that area. If you have a very specific challenge that you need to overcome, I think you're probably better off at our office, than that holistic. We offer a full suite of services, but we don't have the manpower that SBDC does to sit down and work with you over the course of a long period of time to put together a full business plan. So what they'll do often, SBDC, is when they're ready for that financing, and if they think that for whatever reason a traditional bank may not be the place to go, and they want to recommend the CDFI, if they're local, they'll call us. And in return, when I think that there's a certain class or a certain type of technical assistance they need, we do send them over to the SBDC. SCORE is a great organization as well, and that's just more for mentorship, right? That's for everything from just sort of conceptualizing what you do and thinking through the long, big term pictures, and they do offer quite a good variety of online classes now as well. And then we work well with Queens Chamber of Commerce. We actually we have a loan product that we work on together for our CDFI, and then QEDC. We also work with them on a lot of their programs. We try to work really well with all the other economic development organizations in this sphere. Vivi could talk a little bit about our partnership also with the City of New York, I think.
Yes, definitely. So I do want to highlight that Aron already mentioned that we're augmenting each other's services, but we are very intentional with the relationships that we foster in the community and making sure that we are facilitating, partnering. A lot of our partnered events are bringing and highlighting each other's services. And what we plan to do, or what we aim to do, is always make sure that we're top of mind with the services, or the suite of services that we provide. So when we get those referrals, we already know, okay, you've already did this these few steps with SCORE. Now, how can we take you to the next level? You're ready for financing, or you're looking for a space, and we're that person that we can assist you at this point in time. So we're just making sure that we're intentional, mindful, and keeping all of our partners and our community stakeholders abreast of what services we're providing, any new programming, making sure everyone is well informed. And with the City of New York, we are their industrial business service provider here in Queens East. So everything from Greater Jamaica all the way down to JFK, we're providing the suite of services under the technical assistance belt that I mentioned before. And that is a very close relationship that, let's say you're not located within that area, we will refer you to the corresponding industrial business services of New York City. So that's across the 5 boroughs. And again, these are partnerships that are very intentional, just making sure that we're not giving small businesses another no, just telling you, okay, we can't service you now. This is exactly the person that will help you at this point in time on your entrepreneurship journey.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, and our guests today are Aron Kurlander, Director of Business Services, and Vivi Acosta, Deputy Director of Business Services and Special Events of Greater Jamaica Development Corporation. Sorry, a mouthful there, huh?
Yes.
I'm sure there's a lot of misconceptions, again, given the resources that are available and folks trying to find, where to go for, what organization to go to for what. I'm sure there's some misconceptions about what you do. What are the biggest misconceptions, and how do you get over that hurdle?
I would say misconceptions are, often for some reason they think Greater Jamaica is building all these buildings in downtown Jamaica. And, we always have to say that that's not what we do. But they also will get some calls, sometimes some people, they want to do something like national in nature and the numbers astronomical. And we'll just say like, look, we're really here for the mom and pops, right? We're really here for small business folks. If you've got an idea, if you've got a business that needs $30-40 million, we're not the shop for you. But I think part of the misconception is sometimes people don't realize what we can do, which is when you're really small, when you're a home-based business and you need a good example is we were proud to receive some grant funding from Goldman Sachs. We have a marketing loan program that's powered by by the funding that they provided. We saw a little bit of a gap. A lot of small home-based businesses often who marketed themselves or sold products online had trouble accessing, money from marketing. So, marketing capital, somewhat riskier than just sort of a traditional loan. Like I talked about a piece of equipment, you can sort of say, okay, so if you get this piece of equipment, you'll be able to make more widgets. If you make more widgets, you'll make more money. And with that more money, you'll have the ability to service that debt. But when you say marketing, it's like, well, have you done the marketing before and do you know the rate of return? No. I haven't done it. I think if I put up some Facebook ads, I think it'll work out well. Or I think I'll put Google ads, or I think it'll work out well. And I heard it from a lot of businesses, and you know what? Maybe they're right, but I don't think my loan committee was prepared to fund it. Because it's a little bit, it's very aspirational in nature, and that's good. So we mentioned this as a challenge to our funder, and sure enough, they said, oh, you know what? Here's some money. Put the word out there, get the best proposals back, get folks who really think they can make a return on their money by spending some money online. And let's see how it goes. Go ahead and collect that data, figure out if there's a correlation between, the type of business, what kind of advertising they're doing, how much they're spending, the impact, the impressions, the number of followers they're gaining on social media and sales. And if we could come up with that model, we can then have, do traditional lending around online marketing. So, it's those kind of things. We want to hear from everybody. We want to hear where the pain points are. And then even if we can't help you today, we want to sort of figure out where we can go together and try to solve for that. So we launched that program. We just launched round 1. We finished that a couple of weeks ago. We're starting to fund those businesses now, and we're going to see how that works out. But, that's sort of where we think you could come to us for for a lot of the challenges that small businesses face. So like I said, online marketing is one of them. I don't think folks would have thought to give us a call regarding that. But, we hope if that's successful that we'll continue to do rounds. I think the next round will probably be in the fall. And, we were really hopeful that program will produce the results and help a bunch of small businesses grow. I think in the first round, we're going to do 10 businesses. And then, hopefully it'll grow bigger, and keep going from there. One thing, we've worked with a lot of businesses throughout the pandemic around a lot of the government programs and grants that had been out there. There are not as many anymore, but that's something where I think a lot of businesses, came to us at that time. I think it was crucial to have a community-based organization like ours out there really helping to administer. Sometimes we administer the programs. Sometimes we were just sort of telling you, hey, this is the website you need. These are the documents you're going to need. Get yourself ready. Vivi and I remember we realized that, sort of not early on, as these programs, as the PPPs unfolded, as there were these other grant programs that were rolling through, and depending upon where you were in the borough and the industry, that a lot of the smaller folks didn't have their paperwork ready to really prove their worthiness to get into these programs, even though they were operational businesses. But they were sort of, they didn't have every piece of paper that these programs may want. And if you didn't have it, you just didn't qualify, right? Maybe I'll let Vivi, you want to talk a little bit about how we work with that program?
Definitely. And definitely one of the times that as a department and an organization, we realized the gaps that our small business community has. And Aron mentioned the marketing loan fund that came out of the feedback we received from small businesses. So I do think that we are data driven and we're listening to the feedback on the ground. But during that time, we definitely had to sit and spend hours with the small businesses. There were translating services. So we do have a Spanish speaking staff, English speaking, and we had to take our time and look at numbers and create Excel sheets. And our support services, there was a lot of hand holding during that time because there were missed opportunities that a lot of our small businesses just didn't have access to. And as we were advocating on their behalf as well, we were able to access grant programs after the fact. It took a while because we were kind of in panic mode during the pandemic. But again, a lot of the services that we are providing and the feedback that we're listening to from small businesses on the ground inform our decisions, help us with programming and designing the assistance and the support that they need. And thankfully, that's how we can buy products that actually will assist them and support them in their growth.
What we did is, after folks worked with Vivi and the rest of our staff, we saw like a sort of a missed opportunity from a funding standpoint. You had a lot of small businesses who got none of the programs. They didn't get PPP. They didn't get the emergency grant assistance at the federal level. They weren't qualifying at the state level. They weren't qualifying. And they were small. I mean, in nature, these were home-based or one-man shop operations or one-woman operations. So we went to funder. Thankfully, it was Wells Fargo, and we created the bounce back program, I think we called it. And that was really, the first question was, did you get assistance from other programs? And if you answered yes to that, then the answer is, this program isn't for you. This program was for folks who really fell through the cracks. And instead of asking them for a mountain of paperwork, we had a conversation. So tell me about your business. Where are you? How you operate? What you do? And then based on that conversation is how we figured out whether or not you can move forward. It wasn't really based on a bunch of paperwork. And, we needed to verify that you were in business. We needed to verify that you still were open and operating. But we did that instead of by asking you to prove it by documentation. We did it either via computer, face-to-face, whatever we needed to do. And it was a grant program. It wasn't as big as some of the other grant programs. It was a few grand. But it was for many businesses, it was the only grant they received because they didn't have the documentation required from these other programs. So we're really proud of that. We were able to help over 50 businesses in the area at that time. I'm really thankful to our funders for that, and really thankful that we were able to be there for our community at that time.
You are listening to Tower Talk Business Radio. Our guest today is Aron Kurlander, Director of Business Services, and Vivi Acosta, Deputy Director, Business Services and Special Events of Greater Jamaica Development Corporation. My name is Donyshia Boston-Hill, along with Ray Schwetz on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. And now, Vivi and Aron, can you talk to us a little bit about the Greater Nexus program and all the amazing events that you produce for small businesses?
So we're very proud of Greater Nexus, an extension of Greater Jamaica Development Corporation. So it's our shared co-working space that launched last year, August. And again, we're looking to foster an environment for small businesses and entrepreneurs to grow. And it's the first in Jamaica, Queens, affordable space. If you're looking for individual space or a common area where you could work with other entrepreneurs, there's everything from single offices to quadruples, and then a suite of different group spaces where you can hold meetings, and our amazing training space, which is the space that I'll probably highlight that we use the most as an organization, and when we're programming events, especially for our small businesses and entrepreneurs. So I highly encourage all the listeners to visit our Greater Nexus website, which is greaternexus.com. And it's located on Parsons Boulevard, 8914 Parsons Boulevard. Again, just an area where you can work, convene with other small businesses, and also learn. So we're giving and programming events where folks could come, network, and learn. That's where we hold a lot of our MWBE events that Aron alluded to earlier. With the JFK redevelopment, we had the Queens Bronx Builders Association also hold their event. And we were very proud to, again, be the connector with the community and developers that are in the space and in this area. We actually brought the terminal developers. We had 4 terminal developers from JFK in the space, tabling, presenting on their projects. And it was a kind of meet the prime event where we were inviting small businesses to come have face time with actual terminals, not some middleman in between. They're having direct conversations, having their contact information, and understanding what projects are happening. So we're being very intentional about the events that we're holding there. And again, we want to be a connector and giving businesses opportunity to just meet each other, see what you're doing, how can we partner in other events. And then also we bring our services to the forefront of, if you're meeting everyone in the community, you're meeting the work, you're getting opportunities to bid and understand how to bid on the work. And then we're here for your financing support and also technical assistance when you're navigating this newer space in Jamaica, right? Because we know that there's all of this nuance that comes with bidding and the opportunities that are coming up. So we're making sure that we're not only connecting you to the resources, to the financing, but also making sure that whatever handoff we're creating, it's intentional, and you're connecting to the right part.
It really seems that the Greater Jamaica's business model being so hyper-local, that's a huge advantage because you can really identify and kind of fill the gaps. What is the one thing that you want to make sure that our listeners, especially those in the Jamaica area, get out of this conversation today? What's the one thing you want to make sure that they get this?
Well, I would say one thing is that we're here to help. That's so the macro question, the macro. But I would say just it doesn't hurt to give us a call. It doesn't hurt to reach out, to send us an email, see how we could help. Sometimes we've helped folks with things we never really thought we'd even get involved in, but it was a challenge and it was something that was important to their business, and we were able to make that happen for them, and we're happy about that. One thing I think a lot of folks don't think of us for, which is sort of like with the JFK or with any type of government contracting. So we see a lot more effort on part of all levels of government to, really bring in minority and women-owned contractors to be part of these programs. And they're really working hard to open up their contract and bidding processes. And thankfully, a lot of local minority contractors are stepping forward. And these are people in all the different construction trades that are out there. The challenge they face is often they'll get a contract, but the city doesn't, or the state or whatever government entity it is, they don't pay that right away, right? They're going to take 60, 90 days to probably pay you. And if you're going to lay out $100,000 on a job, and have to wait 60 or 90 days. Not a lot of small businesses have that capacity. Some of them don't even have the capacity to lay out the $10,000 or $20,000. We just did a job for we met at one of these events for the Port Authority, but this was a job that it was a Black woman-owned construction company based in the Rockaways, because we go all the way to the Rockaways, all the way through to southern part of Queens. And she got a job with the MTA in the Bronx, but she needed money to mobilize for that job. And so we were able to, I think it was a little over $20,000 of a loan, but it was a smaller job. She was repairing a roof at one of the MTA stations, but that, it's a perfect example of what we can do. Those are short-term loans, those are really, they don't cost a lot to do. They don't really cost the business a lot in interest. It's just to cover them for a period of time. So I think those contractor loans or those upfront capital or mobilization loans, however you want to catalog it, help a business over a hurdle like that. And usually when it's a government contract, we're able to really work very quickly and sort of move that along. And I think, we're proud to say at this point we've done millions of dollars in that kind of lending. And we hope with JFK and with others, there'll be a lot of businesses in the area who really can step forward and take advantage of the opportunities to work on these programs. And we want to be there for them to help fund them through that process.
Great. Now, what's the best way for people to contact you?
The very best way is to go to our website. It's gjdc.org. I know it's GJDC is tricky, but it's Greater Jamaica Development. So it's gjdc.org. And go to the business services section and you'd be able to click through that. And if you want to email us, that's also fine. That's bsg@gjdc.org. And both of those ways are a good way to reach out to us. And if you're interested in a loan, we have a quick questionnaire online that you could fill out that'll go right into a system. Someone will give you a call within a day or so, and you could start that conversation right away. If it's a technical assistance, again, we have a form for that too. And we recommend everybody go and sign up for our e-blast because it comes with a lot of information, and that information is really useful. So keeps you up to date. If there's a new program, if there's a new service, if there's something new happening in the community, you're going to find out with our e-blast. So go online and sign up for that. And it's a really great newsletter, and we only do once a week. So you won't be getting stuff from us every 2 seconds. Then follow us on social media, and I think it's at GJDC Prez PREZ. That's throughout most of the social media platforms.
That's fantastic. I like to leave you with DB's philosophy. If opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Milton Barrow.
I want to thank you for being with us. My name is Ray Schwetz, along with Donyshia Boston-Hill, your co-hosts and producers. Visit nccradio.org for more information. We're available on Odyssey, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. This has been Tower Talk Business Radio on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.